Digger South Coast vlog brings us pretty much onto our doorsteps tonight in watching Lymington Town versus Cow Sports in the Wessex Premier Division. And you'll be pleased to know tonight's vlog will be a sober one.
This is the clubhouse at Lymington Town, opened in 2018, replacing the old clubhouse, quite modern and up to date, as you can see around me from some of the shots as well. The football team share the clubhouse, as they do the ground with the cricket team, and they do this bizarre thing when the cricket season finishes, the cricket beer stock's cleared out and it's replaced by the football's beer stock, hence why nothing on tap at the minute, but £3 for a pint can, which, you know, can't complain for a pint of beer these days, £3. The club got a bit of help with the funding from an FA fund, which helped them build the clubhouse in 2018. And as you can see, there's fans sort of pouring in before the game, like any Wessex League club. The clubhouse is the sort of community bit before the game. 2, 1. Joined by Alan Farrar. Did I get that correct? Farrar, the chairman of Lymington Town Football Club. And firstly, just want to tell us a little bit about the club itself.
Most of what we got here is sort of reformed about 20 years ago, after the original football club went across to New Milton. At that time we had a successful side and we couldn't get Southern League football because of the state of the ground. So the club up and went to and joined forces with New Milton and went on from there. But there was a few locals that decided they want to keep football here. So they got together and they started at the bottom of the pyramid, Hampshire 3, and worked their way up. But the Lymington and New Milton amalgamation fell apart eventually, so New Milton are back on their own, and this club has continued to move forward, really. And how important is Lymington Town FC to have football in the local community? Well, I think it's vital, because we've got a link up with the Lymington Sprites. The Lymington Sprites are now Lymington Town Football Club Sprites, so they start from under 7s right the way through to 15s. We have an under 16s, under 18s, 23s, and we have a ladies team. And finally, difficult summer, whole new team built. How difficult was that, putting it together, and how happy are you with the squad you got? It was difficult in as much that once the team was relegated from the Southern League, we lost all the playing squad, all the management team, and 5 of the committee. So it was a rebuild, really. So we've been busy over the summer. Appointed Adam Colmer from Brockenhurst, who's got a good influx of youngsters here. We are a very young side, inexperienced side. We're not expecting to do big things, but I think the remit this season is to stay in the Wessex League, and that's all I ask from them, really.
That's brilliant. Thank you very much for your time, and I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Reasons why we're at Lymington tonight. So main one being it's pretty much both our local team effectively. So I spent most of my life in Lymington, grew up in Lymington. Although I live in Bournemouth now, I still come back to Lymington a lot. Still watch quite a few games because the #1 fan, aka my father, watches a lot of games, so it's a good chance to catch up with him. And it's also Matt's adopted hometown over the last 20 years after he moved out of the Ghetto in South London. So yeah, we've both got a soft spot for Lymington. But in terms of the actual team at the moment, it's still early days for them. They're a sort of a newly built team after the trials and tribulations of the last few years. They're currently 18th at the moment, but they're still kind of getting their squad together. They took a heavy 8-0 defeat away to Baffins, who were top of the league last Tuesday, but that was mainly down to losing their keeper. So I think it would take them a bit of time to get going this season, Lymington. And as for Cows, they're actually 4th at the moment, 7 points in 4 games, solid start. Had a good 6-1 or 6-2 win against Blackfield on Saturday. So they'll be full of confidence going into the game. But in terms of Lymington, Matt can give us a little bit more over the recent times to Lymington.
Obviously last 2 seasons they're a Southern Division 1 after winning promotion from the Wessex Premier.
Did well to stay up.
They did very well to stay up. So they looked like they were going to get relegated automatically both times, and both times stayed up. Unfortunately, due to grounds not being up to scratch for that league, they've had to go back to the Wessex League, and obviously when you go back to the Wessex League, the Southern League players you once had, the Stephen Walkers, the James Beasleys, the Owen Fees, are going off to Southern League clubs.
Finances go down as well.
Yep, so basically it's a new side from scratch. Alan Palmer coming in from Brockenhurst, under 18s. I think that was specifically the reason they picked him, to work with young players. They did sign one player with a bit of Wessex League experience, and that was Harrison Yedden from Tottenham and Ealing. Unfortunately, he's gone back to Tottenham and Ealing. So again, it's a lot of players who are kind of on the cusp of the first team, like Coleman's son at Brockenhurst, Otis Kianjai, who's also played 19 games for Brockenhurst, but they possibly felt they weren't going to get games this year at the other clubs, and this gives them a chance for first team football in the Wessex League. They've been unlucky, the games you mentioned.
Yeah, it's a good experience for them, isn't it?
2-1 defeat at Fordham Laverstock and 3-2 to Andover New Street, and unlucky not to get a win up in Portland. It was a last minute penalty for Portland that took the point. So I think Cows is a club they want to look at, because Cows obviously being on the island, it's harder to get players in. They've built a team from scratch. They just stayed up sort of last season, and they've added a few players from Newport this year, and they're doing great guns for it. So I think that's what Lymington need to emulate.
Yeah, so I think it'll be an interesting game tonight, so hopefully we'll see a few goals and not get bitten to death by these midges.
It's it.
Yeah, so half time it is Lymington 0, Cows Sports 3. Pretty much the game's gone to form so far. You can clearly tell which team are the settled team this season and which team are sort of a new gelling team, and which team are near the top and which team are near the bottom. Cows pretty much killed the game with 2 goals around about the half an hour mark to take the 3-0 lead. Lymington, a lot of huff and puff, not quite gelling with that final ball up front. Could be a long second half of Lymington coming up, but hopefully keep their heads up to try and keep this score down. But what do you think about their first half overall?
It's tough from Lymington. I think they started pretty well. Zachary hit the bar early on. Sorry, Bakary, he hit the bar earlier on. Harry Yates has been a willing runner up front for Lymington, not a lot of service. The front three for Cows have been really impressive. Connor Kelly, who got the first, John McKee out this side, and Finn Phillips, who got the second, have been really good up front, I think.
They've linked up
Cows.
well, haven't they? They've had a good little supply line coming down the line.
Yeah,
So
it's down this right-hand side where I think they've had most of their joy this half.
Yeah. But I think they literally got 2 goals in the space of 2 minutes, around the half an hour mark, which has kind of killed the game a little bit. But yeah, I think Cows definitely look good value for their lead, so we're just going to go in the clubhouse and get 10 minutes respite from the midgie fest that's going on outside here. So catch you in a bit. That's a great ball. Pinpoint ball though, wasn't it? Straight on him. Oh yeah, it must be because if they've got players, 2 teams have got to go up.
Save again.
I missed that.
No, I got it.
Put my pen in the.
It's my pen.
You scored that. Oh, I missed that as well. What was that? A long range finish? Yeah. Oh!
Square, wasn't it?
Missed the whistle, sorry. Full time is Lymington Town 0, Cows Sports 8. Pretty much a one-sided second half to probably complete a completely dominant performance by Cows Sports. Feel a little bit sorry for Lymington though, because they didn't give up, but you can tell the quality is just not there with them at the moment. But Cows on the other hand play some good football, dangerous going forward with every attack. Scored a couple well-worked team goals, so yeah, definitely worthy winners, and yeah, can see them being the top half of the table pretty much for the rest of the season, I reckon. But in terms of who actually scores, Matt's going to try and read my handwriting now.
Well, no, Connor Kelly set up a cross for John McKee, I believe, who was the skipper, who simple tap-in, brilliant play by Kelly. Kelly was Newport's top scorer last season in Wessex Division 1. I think it's quite a good acquisition to the squad. That front three, I think, were absolutely
Dangerous.
brilliant.
Yeah.
Got to mention young Leo Webster in goal though for Lymington, because he pretty much kept that
score down, yeah.
Yeah, he pulled off 5 or 6 blinding saves, to be fair. If it wasn't
Not much he could have done about any of the goals either,
No.
to be fair.
No. I think he had a really good game. He's got to make him into a good goalkeeper. Yeah, but as we talk back to the goal, sorry. Liam Triggs, the substitute, scored the 69 minutes. It's quite a bit of a different one though. Was it an own goal? Was it?
From our angle, we can't tell, and I don't think our video will be that decisive. But...
No, I'm going by Cow Sports' Twitter, and they said it was an own goal. If it was an own goal, it's quite it was unlucky. It took a deflection for about 35 yards out, looped over the goalkeeper, and then just to completely rout McFarlane, the midfielder, scored a tidy-ish goal. But I think heads had dropped then at that point.
There's no doubt who deserved to win this match, and yeah, can't argue that cows are on form at the moment.
Surprise package up there, possibly?
Yeah, I can see them moving on up.
Oh god, we're going to have to end it now, right? Don't encourage everyone laughing at you stupid buns.
So we know,
sorry, there's a giant fucking
so we know the town quite well. Oh man.
Sorry.